Step into the Fieldhouse, your front row seat to legendary victories and untold stories. Hey, I'm your host, Lance Leonard, breaking down sports from the inside out, along with co-host Jimmy Lackey. It's more than just a game. It's the Fieldhouse Podcast. Hey, welcome into the Fieldhouse Podcast. We are a production of the Kids Inc. Sports Network. Glad to be here today. I'm one of your hosts, Lance Leonard. We've got the man here, Jimmy Lackey, CEO, does it all over at Kids Inc. and co-host. And then we got our special guest, Kale. Steed is setting history today. You're our first two-time guest, Kale.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, of course, everybody knows him, founder of Press Pass Sports. Did a lot of television work in Lubbock and Amarillo. A decorated writer throughout the state. Has the big time awards, the Putt Powell Award, and four-time Lone Star Conference Writer of the Year.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So we have five between us, Kale. It's kind of like Tom Brady and just whoever has one touchdown pass. They together hold the all-time record.
That when it comes to you and me, you're way more polished when it comes to being a writer.
Which is a perfect segue. If you see me just over here doing other stuff today and let these two experts on sports talk, I got work to do, so there you go.
No, you're in on this, so it's all good. We have a tradition here, Kale. Number 55 this is our 55th podcast. I think we're only 500 and maybe 600 behind you guys.
Oh, Craig and I, yeah, we're on 593.
593. Can you imagine that, Jimmy? They've done 593 podcasts.
And they're younger than us.
That's awesome, though. But that's one of the things Kale does as well that you need to tune in weekly to that. It's a really great listen. It's listened to statewide when Matt Stepp, kind of one of the Dave Campbell's guys, but they kind of have a grasp. They have the opportunity to visit a lot more areas than all of us, but when he says he gets his information from you guys, that's a great compliment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He
said that publicly on my show.
Nice.
Yeah. He really did. So, but anyway, it's 55 today. But first, I've got to ask you. Kale's probably tired of this question because he's gracious enough to come on my show every weekly, so he gets the question. And it's early in the morning today. But what's the best thing that happened to you today?
Let me tell you what the best thing that's going to happen to me today.
Yes, go ahead.
At 2 o'clock. I took my watch and my phone off because my phone's blown up. At 2 o'clock today, we have a pre-bid construction meeting. All the subs will be here. For Rock Rose Sports Park. All the subs will be here, getting all the information. The bid packets have been sent out. Bids will be back due probably in 2-3 weeks. Start perusing through those, get all the bids awarded, and we are going to break ground on October 7th.
Wow, you have a date, October
5 o'clock
7th.
in the afternoon. Everybody says, why 5? I said, because kids are out of school and I can have kids there.
Nice.
You won't see me with a shovel in my hand, but you're going to see a bunch of kids with shovels in their hands, and they're going to be the ones to churn the dirt and get this thing up and going. But we're going to break ground on October 7th, but the construction process and the bidding all begins today at 2 o'clock. So that's going to be the best thing that happens to me today.
I know a lot's going to happen after October 7th, but how well are you going to sleep October 7th?
I'll be fine. I'll sleep better then than I do now.
Yeah.
Because then it's in Southwest General's hands. And
it's been a lot. Jimmy gets asked the question. And it's okay. He doesn't mind. He's that kind of guy. But been asked a lot about Rock Rose. It's gonna be a game changer. Kale, you travel the state. You've been on all over. Nice complexes for youth. That's going to be a major impact here in Amarillo.
Oh, huge, because I always hear about the ones in Elk City, and I see the one in Hereford that you guys do. So congratulations. I know that's been a long time coming. That's going to be a game changer.
It is.
I just can't wait to see what it
I told
finally
Craig the other
like.
day,
Yeah.
we were talking, and Craig brought it up a while back, and now it's even more. Between Elk City and Hereford and Dalhart and Amarillo, Lance, you'll remember this. When I came to Kids Inc. in 1995, we officed out of a little building at the corner of 8th and Adams. If you drive by there, it's a little adobe building, maybe 3,500 square feet. We had 8 parking places at the corner of a one-way intersection. We used to call 911 all the time because there was wrecks at that intersection all the time.
Yeah.
At Adams and 8th, because it changes. It's two-way, one direction, and it's one way coming out of downtown.
Yeah. No, it's down from the Globe News. So
the greatest magic trick when we moved to this building in 1998 Dean Kelly was our realtor, and he sold that building for $50,000. It wasn't worth $5. I just thought that was the biggest magic trick. So I go back and I think about, okay, I was managing $50,000 worth of assets in terms of facilities.
Right.
When Rock Rose is completed, we will be managing, creeping right at just over $60 million in facilities amongst our 4 communities. And so, that's a big swing in 30 years.
Yeah.
And,
that's great.
But it's a testament to in my opinion, it's a testament to Mr. Farley's program that's lasted 80 years. Happy birthday to Kids Inc. This is our 80th year, and today's a big day, and October 7th will be a big day. And what a happy birthday to Kids Inc. to break ground on a complex like this.
Yeah, Kale knows a lot of guys who kids are playing sports, and they do talk about Elk City to them. And things like that. Yeah,
they would
it's
love
wonderful
how much they enjoy going over there and things like that.
We have great facilities over there. I don't know if you've seen, but across the street from the complexes, they built us a $13 million activity center. That's actually where our offices are, literally right across the street from the softball complex. And then we have a really nice soccer complex over there, and it's on I-40. You see it as you go through town on I-40. But Elk City's got great facilities over there, and we bring lots of kiddos to town over there to play in a lot of sports programs.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We have a tradition here. This is number 55, and we always pick maybe a player we played with in high school or somebody we admire who wears number 55. I mean, the obvious one for me, and I'll go last, but and we're putting Kale on the spot. I mean, it's really not fair for the guy just walking in here. But is there a 55 that just stood out for you in your career?
Well, no, but I cheated, and I used your book.
That's fine. That's why the book's there.
Because there's not, in fact, there's so little 55s. There's only like 4 in that book.
Really?
But one that stood out when I looked in that book was Dikembe Mutombo.
Oh, wow.
The former Georgetown Hoya and Atlanta Hawk. And I remember Dikembe.
Nugget.
And Nugget, I forget about it.
Don't forget my
Yeah, because he had the greatest playoff series win against the Sonics. Yeah. The 8 versus 1. And, he always did that. But I remember him at Georgetown so well because him and Lonzo Mourning made up the Twin Towers, man. And those guys were just so good. But 50. So, again, when you think of a 55, I'm like, no, but I looked in the book. I cheated.
No. That's what the book's there for. And Jimmy, who's
Mine
yours?
just passed. Leroy Jordan.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great one.
Wow, he did.
Just passed last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had when we did 54, I was going, well, I know who my 55 would be, and that wasn't either that evening or the next day. I'd heard that he passed, and but he was another one of those tough old Cowboys back in the day. And
he played in a couple of scrambles here, Kale, or used to come up at Amarillo Country Club that I had the fortune of. He would just kind of travel around the course. It was kind of cool. But anyway, Henry Vargas, I was much more animated in my younger days when I played golf. But I was putting and it was almost in, and I'm just like, yeah, and Jordan's behind me, like with I have the photo, putting the
bunny ears on.
Yeah, bunny ears on me. So he had a great time.
Who's yours?
Junior Seau has impacted me big time.
Yeah, great one.
I just loved what way much me. When Kale knows him pretty well too, Zach Thomas. When they compliment, like I got the chance to play with Junior Seau.
Right.
That kind of impacts me when they're saying, I learned so much from that guy being on the outside of me for that 1 year. But growing up, there was a guy named Chris Hamburger.
Oh, yeah.
And the name Hamburger.
Redskins.
Washington Redskins wore number 55. But Hamburger, who's named Hamburger? You know what I mean? So everybody loved that guy. And then speaking of the Nuggets, Kiki Vanderway.
Okay. What a great name. Yeah, I remember Kiki. Yeah.
He was a 55.
He was 55. That's right. I forgot about that. He wore the original Nugget uniforms too.
Yeah. So that Kiki.
Here's a little trivia for you. I bet you don't know this.
I probably don't.
You know me pretty well. I don't have much rebel in me, but the little bit of rebel that I have in me, I was a Bosworth fan.
Oh, the Bos, yeah.
And in Seattle, he wore 55.
He did wear 55.
Wow.
He was 44 in Oklahoma. 55 was.
But I have a friend from home, Brian Millard, that played at Seattle at the time.
Right.
And they weren't real close. I have a copy of the Bos's book, and he talks about Brian because we've talked about this on the podcast before. When they went to their first ball game at Denver, and they're selling the big T-shirts that have the Bos on them with the slash through it,
like the Ghostbusters.
And they sold like 15,000 of those shirts. Bosworth had them made.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He made a fortune off those T-shirt sales. Millard got one, apparently, in the book. Bosworth writes, Brian wore it under his shoulder pads at practice pretty regularly.
Is that right?
Yeah, at least that's according to the book.
That's cool.
And I could see that because you think about it, and offenses and defenses, college and pro level, they're not the best of friends all the time. They have their own. They live in their own worlds.
Yeah.
Not saying that they can't be friends and get along, but I'm just saying they just live in their own worlds. You're very compartmentalized when you get to that level, and you spend all your time with linebackers coach, or you spend all your time with the running backs coach.
Sure.
And you don't spend a lot of time as a whole, except on game days.
No, you're absolutely right. Offense and defense is completely separate.
Yeah, and when one's not doing well, the other's going to point the finger, and it's just the way it is. But it's interesting in the book how he refers to Brian a couple of times in the book, but I don't think they got along too well.
Well, they're offense and defense.
But yeah, Bosworth wore 55 for.
I like that. Yeah, he sure did.
He's a smart guy.
A couple of stories on those real quick is like, like a Joe Montana, Kale, and Jimmy, like you're just joining the team and you're a 49er and everybody wants his autograph. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But Montana, they said, used to kind of stand up before the team and just say, look, guys, I know we all get requests for things and all this. If you get one and it's for a family member, let's not abuse it, but just put it in my locker and I'll get it to you eventually. How cool is that?
Yep.
And Brady, I guess, was the same way. They had like a signing locker where when he decided to sign, he would just pull everything out. Yeah. I think that's cool because those guys.
Think about their day.
There's a pecking order, that.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me. You know what I mean? Or,
right.
Things
think
like
about
that.
all the meetings that a Brady or a Montana are in daily. Think of what their itinerary looks like during the day.
Yeah.
Every
Crazy.
ounce of their time is compartmentalized into 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute, hour-long segments. You're going to be in film. You're going to be in this. You're going to be with the coach. You're going to be doing this.
Yeah.
It's spelled out for you from sun up to sundown.
Yeah, it's brutal. Kale, you've met a zillion athletes, famous athletes, coaches, personalities in sports, but you're not a real autograph seeking guy. I love that about you. No. But is there an autograph you have that hey, this is pretty cool to get?
Yeah, when I was a kid, 96, Mike Hargrove's sister Paula lived in Groover, and we went to church together, and she was so kind and got me the 96 Cleveland Indians team with Kenny Lofton, Albert Bell, Charles Nagy, Carlos Baerga. That whole ball, the whole team signed that ball. Mike Hargrove on it, obviously.
Yeah.
So I still have that. But that was a really cool deal because those Indian teams,
man,
they didn't win one, but just how
close,
good, how good they were. And how awesome.
Talking about Paula, she used to date a friend of mine.
Is that right?
My friend Randy Rockel's dad let us borrow his van, one of those, those customized vans,
sure,
and go to Dallas in it. And Paula and her boyfriend, who lived with us, he was actually Randy's roommate at the time. We all went to Dallas to go to a ball game when Mike was managing the Indians and sat right behind the dugout.
Wow.
And they got to, have a conversation after the game. But Paula used to date a friend of mine.
That's cool. Yeah, that was very sweet of her. I think she got that for me for my grandpa to give it to me. And when I was a kid, so I was in high school because it was in '96. I'd have been 17.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
man.
that was. Yeah,
that's a really good. Do you have a favorite autograph, or? You got several, obviously.
I have a few. No, I have a few. I'm like Kale. I'm not a big autograph seeker. I just don't want to bother the person.
Yeah, it's for kids. You know what I mean? I realize people go pay for them, and like if Elway, I would probably be obnoxious and try to get his autograph.
I had one at one time.
You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I really don't seek him out.
I had one in my hand at one time, and I gave it to the person that it belonged to. But during our 60th anniversary, and we had our first induction group into the Kids Inc. Hall of Fame. Kim Hudson was one of our inductees, and Kim was the coach at Emerald High volleyball back in the day, and then went to WT and won our first national championship there, and then ended up at the University of South Carolina. And her and Lou Holtz became very good friends, and I wrote to Coach Holtz, and he wrote a handwritten letter back to me for us to read at the banquet when we did Kim's induction, and it was in handwriting, and he signed it Lou Holtz. And we took pictures of it and made it a real nice presentation on the screen because all of our presentations were done by video. And years later, I finally got to see Kim, and I was able to give her that piece of paper.
Wow.
Because that belonged to her. She deserved to have that. But it sat in my desk for a long time, autographed deal from Lou Holtz, a handwritten letter to Kim about Kim that I wanted her to have. And so, yeah, that's good stuff there.
No, that's great stuff. First one I ever got was Bart Starr.
Wow.
He was at the Air Force Academy. I was about 11. And then my most memorable one was the St. Louis Cardinals that just won the national champ, the World Series in the 60s, okay? And one of the generals or something on the academy, they're coming back from spring training, and they stopped and played an exhibition game against the Cardinals. So I had my mitt there, and so the national anthem's being played. We're sitting on bleachers, and when they go, we have a special guest in the audience, Stan the Man Musial.
Oh, dang.
Sitting right next to me. So he autographs my glove. Lou Brock, Teddy Sizemore, Julian Javier, Gibson, all of them. But it's the only glove I had, okay?
Oh,
so
no.
my dad said, we're not buying a new glove.
So you got to play with this.
So I play with it. So those autographs slowly but surely faded away off that. And Stan the Man's was the last one to go because he did it in ink. So anyway, that was
my
fun.
all-time personal one would be, I've got a lot of things that Coach Meyer signed. And y'all heard me talk
about
great
when you brought him
about
here.
Don Meyer. MEYER, Don Meyer ESPY Award. Go look it up on Google.
Yeah.
But Coach Meyer, I've got lots of stuff from him, and I treasure those because he and I became extremely good friends. And
you did. You brought him here, and I remember you got me an interview with him when I was at Channel
great
7.
guy.
No, he was great.
Oh, I miss him.
Yeah, fantastic.
He was wonderful. Big proponent of what we did. He loved Kids Inc. He used to talk about us. He did stuff at Fortune 500 groups, and he would use us as an example about communities and kids and programs. But he was special, and he's not known to the whole world. He was a Division II and NAIA coach, and but had more wins than anybody at one time. Passed Bobby Knight on the all-time leading.
But the way it's just his story.
The whole story that Buster Olney wrote, the book. If you want to get it, How Lucky You Can Be. But Don Meyer, MEYER ESPY Award. Go look it up, and he won that in 2009. It's impressive.
Tom Landry was here once, Kale, at the Sheridan, and promoting a book he wrote, but no entourage at all. You know what I mean?
That's fantastic.
And they gave us an interview there, so I got to meet him up there before. I think he was putting on, doing a speech that night, but he let me come up there. They said, "Hey, look, you get 15 minutes with Tom Landry." Man, that was maybe my and I fanboyed out and got an autograph from him there. But I went in and said, "Coach Landry, I got to tell you, I'm a Broncos fan. When you're young, you're dumb, and you do stuff." He doesn't care. But then he goes, Danny. I love Danny. Dan Reeves, at that time was the coach of the Broncos. He goes, I love Danny. So the Broncos are my number 2 team. So
I love that.
That's what he said real quick. So, but yeah, autographs, they mean a lot to kids. But just heads up, man. You see it all the time on social media.
The airports are where it's awful. When you see people getting chased down at airports and getting bombarded. Give them a break, man. I mean, how can you be that psychotic?
Let the kid go get the autograph.
Get the kid.
You don't need a 60-year-old jumping in. Yeah, I'm
like the guy that stole the cap at the tennis match the other day.
Oh, my gosh.
By the way, a billionaire, right? Or a millionaire?
I think so.
Yeah. And he didn't apologize. He said, look, it's a tough world out there, blah, blah, blah. I was like, whatever, you know what I mean? So, hey.
If I did that, y'all'd fire me.
Yeah, Emerald would be pretty rough on you if anybody does that. Hey, we got Kale in here. First of all, Kale, you took a risk. I love risk takers in life. I really have never been that guy.
Don't sell yourself short, man. You do a little more risk taking than you think.
Well, I appreciate that, but you really stepped out with Press Pass Sports, and just take us into that. And it can be the long version if you don't mind. Just tell our viewers. Kale had done a lot of TV. He had done a great job at the Amarillo Globe News, and then that thing just cratered. We were trying to do a job of 7 to 8 people, myself, and woe is me. I don't mean this story, Jimmy, but the Globe News very well. You grew up with it in Dumas and beyond. But Kale, myself, and Lee Passmore tried to keep that thing alive that year.
Oh.
You know what I mean? The 3 of us, and run it like a staff of 7 or 8.
12 at points.
Yes, 12 at
agree.
points. And then Kale and Lee did it another year with the 2 of them.
And then credit to Lee. He did it by himself.
Yeah. But Kale decided to branch out. And where'd the idea come about that maybe I can make something work?
Well, to be honest, this is one thing about media and you'll know this, is a very copycat business. And I don't mean that as everybody copies each other, but you take influences from each other and you adapt it into your own. And I always feel like one thing about myself is you're always wanting to get better. You never want to be stale in what you do. You always want to try to grow and learn and adapt. So I was in TV. I started as an overnight editor, photographer. I wanted to be a sports reporter, so I had to be a news reporter. And then I wanted to be more than just a weekend sports guy. I knew Lee Baker was never going to get out of that chair.
Yeah.
Even though now they kind of forced him out, but still, I knew I would look how long I would have been there, right? So you gave me an opportunity to write. So I wanted to be a sports writer. Well, then that cratered. So now what do I do? I knew enough. I saw some other guys trying to do websites. So now what do I do? So now, okay, I know how to do the day-to-day at the Globe News. I know how to be a TV guy. So why don't I take all that and just start it on a website and see how it goes? Now, I didn't know the business end, and that's where I'm very thankful for Joe Garcia, my business partner, because he knows the business end. But I knew how to do the day-to-day of sports. I knew how to write a story. I knew how to get photography done. I know how to get video done. So you take all that and you just roll it into a website. And now how do we get people to know about it? Well, the first few years I didn't, it was growing by word of mouth, getting the name out there. Luckily, not trying to brag at all, but luckily I've tried to get my name out there in the sports world.
Oh yeah, it was already out there, but yeah,
in the Texas Panhandle. Yeah. So building a reputation with coaches, and that's one thing I tell young kids all the time, young reporters, young people getting this business is, they have these aspirations is building relationships with the coaches, with the players. That's the 70% of this job is building a relationship with a guy like Jimmy Lackey is, be genuine about it. Don't just get to know them, get to know them because you want them to be, they can be your friend. They can be your go-to because you want them to trust you and you want to trust them. So build a relationship with them.
Yeah, no, I love that. And Kale does it better than anybody. Like if we just had to call a coach just randomly right now, let's say something broke in Wellington, Wheeler, Dalhart, Text Line. You can go down to Tulia. You can go to Lubbock for sure. Shalleywater.
Yeah, we've ventured into Lubbock too.
Yeah, and what he's done with Press Pass Sports right now, Jimmy, it is the go-to website in the Texas Panhandle. And I always say that when I introduce him because I really mean that. It is the go-to website for scores. He's been able to adapt like nobody really. And give yourself credit. You had the background and the steep background in both that very few of us ever had. You know what I mean? Kale knew both businesses, TV and newspaper.
Today you have to know how to do everything. Even with this show you guys are doing, you have to know how to do everything. Look at you, since you left the paper. And that's one thing I always say about you. You were a writer for so many years, but now you're so much more than that. You're a radio host. You do video on the sideline now. You do TV with Channel 10. Now you're doing this podcast. You do so much out there because you have to keep up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how it is with social media.
It's just part of it.
It's part of it, yeah.
And I'm blessed to be able to do it still at this age.
And you help me out a ton, which I'm very thankful.
Well, I mean, not a ton, but I try to
you do
in.
more than you think.
Every once in a while, the DNA kicks in. I've got to write a story, you know what I mean? And I'm too careful with them, but so – Kale, one of my questions, and I want Jimmy to ask you a couple, but now that you've done it a few years, go ahead and brag if you don't mind just for a sec. What are you proud of most about the product you guys are putting out today? Because it has really steamrolled into what it is now as a machine, because the best photography in the 806 is on your website as well.
Sure.
In depth, too.
Sustainability. I think being 6 years old now, and Joe Garcia is with me now almost 4 years, but I think sustainability and growth, as you've seen with us every year, we've gotten better. And then you've seen the depth that we've come with the team. Lee Passmore's been with me since day one. Guys, we have so many outside photographers, Tucker Stroud, Charlotte Schultz, Alan Hale, Nicole Dill. They've been with me since day one. These are people that live out, and they haven't asked for a dime. Then you have Joe Garcia, Roy Wheeler, Carter Pirtle, James Abel, Tyler Anderson just joined us. So you have a stable of guys out there that have just Sierra Franks. I'm going to miss somebody.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's all good. Kale knows who.
David Erickson. How could I forget David?
Yeah.
Just so many people that have wanted to be a part of you because they like the mission, that your mission statement, and that's what it is. It's just providing the best coverage. So the sustainability and the growth, and like you said, the excellent photography, excellent writing that Lee Passmore brings it every time. Tyler Anderson has been a huge addition. And then I just try to bring around and bring the rear up when I can. And you, obviously, always bringing huge stories when you do. Just your name value alone always helps us.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
And I want to go back to photography. And if people don't know who Joe is, they might have heard of JPEG Joe.
JPEG, that's how they really know him, JPEG Joe, yeah.
What's his secret? Because I'm telling you, here's Joe. And I'll go a little farther down the road, and I'll say I've got some others that I really rely on heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Contreras.
He's a great one.
Roy Wheeler, Cliff Lawson.
Cliff's a great one.
Those guys there. Joe's is a little different. What's his secret sauce? Because the stuff, and I'm not talking about just local stuff. I'm talking about stuff that he does nationwide and all around the place.
Joe's just brilliant when it comes to from a business standpoint, what he does for E-Catholic on his real job, but two, Lance has been around him. His mind. I think it's his technology side of his mind and how his business sense works.
Well, I had him contracted to do work for us years ago.
Yeah.
And at the last minute, he says, "Jimmy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just can't."
Probably too busy.
He was.
Yeah.
Because we were here. The stuff he's getting is, big stuff.
Well,
we tried to get him.
He's very, I think, how do I put this? He's very technologically fantastic.
Yeah, his mind works in numbers.
Yes, thank you. Very analytical.
Yeah, very analytical. I'm not a numbers guy at all. So his conversations are sometimes a little over my head, let's be honest. However, it clicks that way. Like, this is where we can develop. This is why you need to look at this data. He's a data guy. He's
data-driven to the T. When you look at the numbers with him, it goes over my head. But that's why you need a partner like Joe, because that's where I'm not great at. But then I have to help him with the sports side of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But when you look at his photography, that's where he's great too, because he can go in and he could perfect the photo to a T because of that data. Because of those numbers.
And then he also enjoys like different angles of things. You'll see him lay on the ground or up high. Yeah. He's not a stationary photographer like I like to call it, but
he's as good as they get.
Yeah, he does a great job, and he knows how. Like Kale said, half of photography now is editing it after you shoot the shot, and he's a master at that. And it's quick. You know what I mean? He also moves. He's a hyper guy.
He is. He doesn't sit still.
He does,
and I appreciate that because I don't sit still.
People think they can go and buy a camera. You can go buy the best camera on the shelf, and go out there and take a picture. You go take a photo class at a community college or whatever. Until you know every little bit about what that lens does. Camera's one thing, but the lens is the other part. And lens, it's like eyesight. If you've got the best glasses on, you're going to see well. If you don't have the best glasses on, you're not. That's the difference in the lens. But knowing what that lens can do, he knows every fractal point in that lens and what it can do. And boy, his stuff is just absolutely incredible. Oh, it's incredible.
And I think another thing he did that was genius is, when I started this, I didn't want to make it subscription based to start.
Sure.
Because you want to get your name out there. And in May, we went subscription based, which we hesitated with but you have to make a living.
Yeah, you do.
And you have to make, we have sponsorships. But what he did, what I thought was genius was it's $35 for a year.
For a year.
Very cheap, but he made it a one-time hit. So you don't have to worry about months. You don't have to worry about $3 a month or $2.99 a month. But he made it $35. You pay it once and you're done. Yep. I thought that psychologically takes a lot away from you. So I thought that was a very good idea on his part too.
Yep, smart.
Yeah, he's a sharp cat, and
I'm glad to have him.
Yeah. I mean, he's dedicated to the cause, and you guys do an amazing job. Where do you see it going, Kale? I mean, as you look into the future.
When I started this, and I think I told you this 6 years ago, I never wanted it to be strictly based towards the Texas Panhandle. I wanted it to branch out to the state of Texas. And we're doing that now, going to Lubbock. And we're making it a slow burn to Lubbock. we're covering like 12 schools there right now. LISD, Cooper, Friendship, and a few outlying area schools. I wouldn't mind continuing to go towards West Texas, kind of branch into the whole West I-20 corridor.
Yeah.
And just see where it goes from there. We don't want to step on anybody's toes. I respect too many writers and TV guys that work in that business. It's just about, working together and seeing what we can do. But I never wanted it to – that's why I named it Press Pass Sports. I never wanted it to have an 806 stick to it. I wanted it to always grow and see where we could do with it.
Yeah, and what it offers is good writing as well, and be an old school newspaper guy. See, and when you're a newspaper back then, there was that line that was drawn between coaches and media.
Sure.
I definitely crossed it. They were friends of mine. Things like that.
Exactly.
I mean, I grew up a coach's kid. You just kind of relate to him. You know what I mean?
That's how my grandpa was. He was friends with all the coaches, so it was easy to get along with the coaches.
Yeah. So, but that offers everything. For the old school people like myself who like a really well written story, and then the nuts and the bolts, the wrap ups, the scores themselves. That's what's there, where you can't find that any place else. Timely fashion and in one spot.
That's been another thing that's been the hardest part is discipline. Now that you're not on it, Lance, you don't have, Lance is not like, Kale, I need that in by 11. So when do I get this in?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
You put yourself on your own deadline. Jim.
That's
you
hard.
You know how it is, Jim. I mean, when you put yourself on your own deadline, you have to have it in. So I'm always like, it's not a harsh deadline, but you still want to put yourself on a responsible deadline. And that's a hard thing to do.
And that takes massive discipline and just – oh my gosh, especially week 8 of the season, Jimmy. Well, it's like he's only written 44 roundups, and here's 45.
Tyler Anderson did it the other day. He's like, I'll have this Radel story about like 1 in the morning. Like, Tyler, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. is okay, man. You don't have to have
we're not going to post at 1 a.m. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that.
Because we have to look at the analytics, too, of when people are reading.
Yeah, it's in the morning.
The website to print is a whole different thing in itself. So
see, I thought I think the only way a newspaper could go now, Kale, believe it or not, and I think there's a market for it someday. Somewhere.
Oh, there is still, yeah.
But you deliver it at 3 or 4 o'clock when you get everybody's off work.
Yeah.
Like the old days, everybody got up, had that time, cup of coffee, paper.
Sure.
Now everybody's rolling on their phones, everything. But when you get home, that's the only time would be an ideal time to sit down and read something out of a paper.
No, I agree. Like and I agree that day of getting it in at midnight and getting it to 6 a.m. is so different now.
Yeah.
In how we read.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just different the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, I can remember when I remember when you were at the last days of the paper.
Yeah.
And and correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember us having this conversation. But they gave you a Friday deadline of like 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Oh, it got worse.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's no way.
Yeah, no, it was.
And so when you go to read our paper now and everything's 2 days behind, there's a reason for that. It's because the deadlines were 2 days ago.
Lance, do you remember that last year when our former editor? Who was our what would you call him? What was Barton? What was his title?
He was the newsroom editor.
He had that. He came into that meeting and he's like, our deadline on Fridays is going to be 7. So what do we do? And you're like, what can we do? What can we do?
Yeah, that's what we should have done.
So we did a feature story on Fridays.
Yeah.
A feature on a football player on Fridays, and then everything else went into the weekend.
First weekend of that, we got hammered.
Oh, my gosh.
Personal phone calls, you know what I mean? They didn't go to Barton. It went to us.
Because they don't know.
They don't know him.
Yeah, they don't.
It's like I tell people.
And it wasn't on
business,
Barton either. He had orders.
No,
too.
he had orders.
You don't know
from
what
above.
goes behind the scenes of a business
Sure.
Yeah.
until you've crawled back behind the counter and watched.
Yeah.
I don't care what business it is. Ours,
No, I
yours,
agree.
anybody else's.
Well, it's kind of like what's going on. And I'm not dissing them, and this isn't on them, but it's like what's going on at Channel 7 right now. It's not on DJ, and it's not on those people in the newsroom. But with this product they're doing with this,
what's people that don't know us?
they don't. Yeah, they're being told what they have to do.
They don't know
from
us.
corporate. Right,
They don't
exactly.
know our community.
Right, exactly. They don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've said this a million times. Us in the Panhandle of Texas, and if you're outside the Panhandle, come join us. We're different, but we're a different breed of cat.
I agree.
It's different here.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. A man's handshake and a word from a man is still worth something around here.
Thank you.
And it kind of transcends from there. But a handshake and a man's word is still worth something.
No, you're right.
Just because it worked in Dayton, Ohio, doesn't mean it's going to work here. You know what I mean? Am I wrong?
No, so true.
Yeah.
So true. You have to know your area, and they just don't know the area when
and this is selfish, but take us. if we went and tried to do everything that we do here in Elk City, Dalhart, and Hereford, it wouldn't work.
Wouldn't work.
We have to tailor it for those communities.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You have to. You have to do what their needs are, what their wants are, and you have to be able to tweak it a little bit. And
hey, Kale also has a wealth of knowledge, so we're going to take advantage today. Texas high school football kicked off last week officially. I mean, you're invested in it. Couple of takes from the first week that you could share with us if you don't mind.
One game you and I were at, I'll start here because this is kind of an Amarillo show. Based in Amarillo is Tascosa and Paladuro. Let's start there before we go to week 2. And because you and I were sitting there, I thought the first half, Tascosa's offense was just incredible. I know it was only 10-0, but I thought it was fluid. I don't think there was many mistakes, a couple of penalties, but I thought they were hitting on all cylinders. Second half, I thought they got a little sloppy. I thought there was some penalties.
Yeah.
Maybe it was fatigue.
Yeah.
And I thought Paladuro showed some really good things. But I thought at the end of the day, and I think you'll agree, man, that Tascosa defensive line won that game. And they're going to win a lot of games. I mean, it's that good, Jimmy. That defensive front, we don't talk a lot about that a lot, but Paladuro struggled, you know what I mean? And Paladuro, well, Crush Johnson was in the backfield the entire
Yeah, he lived back there, and he has a great number anyway.
Yeah.
So
0, right?
0,
yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, but my takeaway, Kale, is Paladuro is better than they were last year, though.
Especially
even though they lost that game and they won it last year.
Yeah, we could see the skill.
Yeah.
And we could see what they'd have. Up front, they didn't get manhandled by any means.
No,
I know we say that D-line won, but
yeah,
it wasn't like has been in years past.
Yeah,
and I thought the D-line played great and the linebackers played great. I thought Paladuro played a great game, just did not execute when they needed to, especially inside the 10-yard lines. But there was a lot of positives.
For
Paladuro's, and I'm excited to see what they do Thursday night against Caprock.
Yeah, me too. And the atmosphere was insane.
It was. I'll tell you this. Compared to last year, it wasn't embarrassing. It was very clean. There wasn't
a lot of talk.
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't a lot. Not as many personal fouls.
Right.
This was a way more disciplined football game between these teams than last year's debacle.
Yeah.
Went away. Second takeaway: Sanford Fritch, man. How about the Eagles? I don't think any of us would have picked them to beat River Road. So congrats to Brandon Bennett on his first win there at Sanford Fritch. They are now looking at, guys, if they win on Friday, 2-0 for the first time since 2016.
And then also on a side note, naming the field after two guys we like.
Yeah, Houston Moose and Rick Ware. They named the field after them on Friday too. So a special win, even more. And that field hasn't changed, Jimmy, since you were in high school.
Nope.
Yeah.
They still got the H goal post, man. You know, the old press box.
The old press box, the grass field.
It's still as high as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
Did you play there?
No, but I think I've got a friend on that coaching staff.
Now the current coaching staff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow. Need to call him up and
I need
congratulate him.
I need to look it up right quick.
Yeah,
I know Brandon Bennett's the head coach, but I don't know any of their assistants.
This guy coached at Allen for many years.
Really? Did he come with him?
I don't know.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm going to look it up right quick.
By the way, your Dumas Demons had a great showing.
Oh, my gosh.
Kale's a big fan of
Aaron Dunham. Yeah.
And the quarterback.
Oh, Colton Mills.
Yeah.
51-0. He had 4 touchdowns. That was more impressive was the interceptions. 3 interceptions in that game. I feel for Rowdy Freeman, though, at Caprock. That was a struggle for them offensively. And Emerald High, you know, we kind of dogged them a little bit in the scrimmage for their defense. But, you know, to hold I know Odessa's not a world beater, but to hold them to 12.
Yeah.
And the score 55 was very impressive.
42 by halftime.
Right.
It's over. You have a 300-yard passer, 100-yard rusher, almost a 100-yard receiver. Yeah.
Well, Austin Schluter did go.
Oh, Austin did. Yeah.
So
you have both those guys. They kind of have a wide receiver 1 and
1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I like those. And going into this week, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We have a couple of huge games
yeah.
with Stratford and Panhandle over in Panhandle, and then Canadian hosting Bushland.
Let me ask you this, Lance. Now, we haven't seen Stratford. We know what can they stay on the field with Panhandle?
Panhandle's so good this year.
Is this the year?
This is the year.
They win the region? We say that. You and I are saying that with a little.
I think, speaking of the defense, I think they have somewhat of a defense as well. So
yeah, I like Panhandle in this one. And I like, you know me, I'm a Stratford
You love
guy.
Stratford, yeah.
We
all do,
I just don't, man, Panhandle.
Dane Ashley hasn't playing great.
They already.
How about Bushland? How about Josh Reynolds maybe being the most underrated coach we have in the Texas Panhandle? Who is 3-0 against West Plains?
Josh Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Who went up, who beats Canadian on occasion?
Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
He's probably the only coach other than Stephen Coursey and Jake Fazell to have more than 2 wins against Chris Ketting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he has some notches. He just doesn't have that state championship or state championship game, to kind of hang his hat on.
But last week I thought he did it. It was Borger. Borger struggled.
Yeah.
But to play, I thought Colton Strickland and Cannon Gavin did a really good job at quarterback for 2 guys that were just thrown in.
Yeah, okay.
In the offseason.
Yeah.
Because of Quade Ferris transferring. And I thought their defense was so good.
Now it goes another level against Canadian.
It does. This changes. But Canadian, too, is very unfamiliar. So this will be a great game because we don't know much about them yet. So I'm really looking forward to what Lee Passworth's covering that game. I'm really looking forward to what these 2 teams have because this is about, to me, as even as it's been in years.
Yeah.
Usually we're like, what's going to happen here? Usually you and I can tell.
Yeah.
Like last year we knew Bushland would win this game. This year I don't really know.
And there's a lot of question mark guys who are unproven, but they may prove themselves in this game. But I think those are the 2 highlight games in the area.
Oh, no doubt. And then, Paladero, Caprock, obviously Thursday night. Tascosa's hosting Wichita Falls Legacy.
Yeah,
so that'll be
Legacy went winless last year in their first year, Jimmy, in Wichita Falls, and then won their first game out. So they have a new coach.
That's a unique setup they've changed down there.
It's all different.
Oh, yeah, it's messed up. I mean, they just threw their history away. I don't like it. That's just a personal opinion on me. I mean, and then name your schools something better than Legacy and Memorial.
I'm watching Tech. Thank you. When's Freedom and Independence going to start coming out? Right, as schools.
You've got fighter jets that fly over your high school every day.
Oh,
do something.
Well, I'm watching Tech the other day. There's Jeremy Rodriguez. Where'd he go? Ryder. Where's that? Well, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So he goes. He went to no high school. That doesn't even exist.
And, by the way, Slade Hodges. The Hodges from Hereford.
Well.
His son is the quarterback
at Legacy.
So started as a freshman. This is his sophomore year, so he's got off to a good start, but it should be a lot of great stuff going on. Kale also is tapped in. Just tell our viewers, if you don't mind, just how good is the volleyball around here?
It's always been elite around here, especially when you talk about Emerald High, you talk about Bushland. Now I think Tascosa with Carly McCracken's doing a great job. West Plains is always rolling. They beat Bushland the other night. Canyon's always good. Randall, we know what Randall's about, right? So it's then you look at our smaller levels. Sanjak's having a fantastic year. Katie Little's got them rolling at 19-3. Miami's good. Fort Elliott's good.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of great volleyball around here.
And they make playoff
Amarillo
runs.
High's got a girl right now, Harper Vaughn, the sophomore that Haley Burns compares to Bree Ford.
Wow.
That's a high compliment.
And
Jordan Gove.
Yeah. And then Randall has Chloe Brown, who is the daughter of Darren Brown, the former manager of the Dillas. Yep. By the way, I watched his game last night. He was in Mexico City. He's coaching in Mexico this summer. Dancing. They dance at the game. They have this big opera production for their what national song or whatever. I mean, they're dressed up like they're on Broadway. It is insane to watch.
That is awesome.
I think they lost on a walk-off, but that's just Brownie said, here's the deal. 18 managers have been fired in that league.
Is that right?
They don't fire the players. They fire the managers.
Oh my gosh.
So I did confirm. A friend of mine from college coached at Allen for years and years and years and years, retired, and is back up in the Panhandle now. He's coaching at Fritch.
What's his name?
Ty Henderson.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Wow.
I wonder what he thinks from Allen
Great
at Fritch.
Guy. Great guy.
I wonder what he thinks coaching that Allen football stadium at Fritch.
We played at Wheeler.
He played at Wheeler?
He grew up in Wheeler.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you talking about
great
athlete.
When would he have played in Wheeler? That name is very familiar.
We were in school. He would have been early 80s.
So he would have
really
been. Good
Ty's
teams.
probably a year or two younger than me, maybe.
He won a state title at Wheeler?
I'm not going to quote that, but he was on those good teams.
They had that run, man.
Yeah, they were on
the
He was
on those good teams.
Yeah.
Ty's a fantastic athlete back in the day, too.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Wheeler has
great
connections.
Guy.
Yeah,
great
Wheeler
guy.
has serious connections.
But they only list one coach on the roster.
And it's him?
That's Brandon.
Brandon's
I had to look up, and sure enough, Ty's coaching at
Well, congrats on their opening win. Maybe
but
Ty.
he was on those state championship teams at Allen for years.
That's big for Fritch, because they've had some rough years. And they won one game last year, and now they're 1-0. A lot of confidence going after them.
There was a time at the big level, we had those of us who went to WT during this time had two really good friends on the field in the state championship game. Tony Heath was coaching at Pearland, head football coach there, and Ty was I think he was the defensive coordinator at Allen.
Wow.
And they were playing for the state title. Two WT guys.
That's pretty cool. Real quick, West Plains, that's the first time they've been 1-0 in school history.
Yeah, can you believe they never won an opener?
Yeah, and then they have a couple other missions. They haven't been Bushland.
Yeah.
Jason Witten's Argyle team took it out on him, so they have they're kind of on a revenge tour to non-district. Everybody thought they, maybe looking over people, but you did see Toby Tucker's and Seth Parr's Anna Coyotes beat Jason Witten's team 31-28 in the opener. Right. So Toby Tucker's youngest son is like 5'6", 5'7" guard.
He's a house, man. Yeah, he's big.
Or center.
Yeah.
And then next to him is a Division I guard and tackle that are like 6'6", 6'7". So it's quite
a big boy.
Yeah. Miss Toby Tucker. So, Kale, last one for you. West Texas A&M.
Yep.
Opened up in Western Colorado, number 10 team in the nation. Hung with them for quite a while. Ended up losing that game. Very, very, very veteran quarterback. Western Colorado's legit. This week it's Colorado School of Mines. We know what Mines is about, a great tradition in Division II football. But take me into Josh Lynn's third year at the helm at WT. And, Jimmy, I'd like you to comment as well. You go to a ton of those games.
I'd like to start with Jimmy. Have you seen him yet? Practice or anything?
I have not.
Man, I'm going to say this. Kent Johnson said it on the radio the other day, and being at a few practices and in 2 scrimmages, the receivers, man, immediately you see athleticism.
Yeah.
So that's there. R.J. Martinez, the quarterback's great. I think this is they finally are seeing – you're seeing progress. Now, I'm not going to go out here and tell you they're going 11-1, okay? Yeah. But, man, you're going to see more excitement in the offense. Last year, you could fall asleep at halftime pretty easily. I'm not trying to be rude. Yeah. Just as a person that was there.
Yeah.
It was tough. I think Josh Lynn is this Justin Bain. He brought in an OC from Central Missouri. He's awesome. I think there's a lot of progression going on, and you saw that against Western Colorado. They were exciting, even though they lost that game. Colorado Mine's going to be hard.
Yeah.
That's a very stout team, but I just want to see him getting better. I just want to see him grow.
Yeah, that job's not getting any easier.
No.
Josh is a friend.
Oh, me too, completely.
But I'm sorry. Our job's just not getting any easier. Case in point. Tarleton goes to Army, beats Army.
2-0.
East Texas A&M now, which was Texas A&M Commerce, where Colby won a national championship. They're moving up the deal.
They're playing SMU the other day on ESPN.
Abilene Christian's playing at the D1 level. I mean, our fan base, that my group and even to the younger groups that played back in the 80s, those were the teams we played. And to see them beat.
Yeah,
and
regularly.
To see them doing things at a different level only puts more pressure on us, not only on the field but university-wise too, because that's what people are seeing out there.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah.
Do you feel like WT is getting left behind a little bit?
I used to not think that way, but with the landscape changing, sub-major college, yes, I think so. I really would like to see college presidents get together outside of the big boys, get together and put something together that's realistic, regionalize it, and get these schools paired and put together that can compete at that level. I have no doubt that we can compete at that level. We have the facilities, we have everything, we have an airport, all the little things that people don't think about. We have access to all of that.
Yeah.
But Division II, anything below the big boys is in a lost world right now. I mean, it's just all lost.
Yeah, no, NIL and portal blew up Division II.
It's a lost deal, and I would like to see them go in and really think this through again. And I think it's incumbent upon university presidents, and I'm not saying Dr. Wendler, I'm saying university presidents nationwide, putting a group together, not the NCAA.
I get it.
The presidents. Go in and make decisions that are best for your campus and your alumni and your players and your educational process. And then if the NCAA needs to be involved in that, great. But the NCAA right now is so broken, and
they could just get rid of it for
I mean, it's broken.
Well, they have no clout with NIL and the portal. But the NIL and portal just absolutely sent Division II sailing without a rudder.
After COVID,
so they're in the ocean.
After COVID, they showed you they didn't care about it.
Yeah, they're just floating out there right now because any good players will be snatched up. Let's say you develop them for a year or two. they're just gone out of that.
It's a leadership group that's going to have to get together, whether it's the actual university presidents themselves or they appoint their athletic directors to get together and put something together. But there's going to have to be something nationwide. I think you could have 8 regions, just like we do in Division II now, but I think you could make this even better than it is and include these schools that are sitting in a division a little higher than we are.
Like the Southland.
Yeah, and figure out which ones belong and which ones need to be down here. You don't need FCS.
Yeah.
You don't need FBS. You don't need Division II. You don't need Division III. You don't need NAI. Pare that down and put schools that with like missions together. And
that's
actually
interesting.
Genius. Yeah. I love the idea.
I do too. The one thing, as I understand it, when Tarleton State went, they really the powers that be in the A&M system urged WT go as a pair. You know, we want you two going into this situation together. And then WT basically said, nah, we love our little – and at the time it was I agreed with it actually. Their niche was Division II, okay? It's like Northern Colorado. That's where I went. They win the national title in football in Division II and then go up, and they're a forgotten team. They're a forgotten school. Hey, I had one more question.
You know who went to Northern Colorado? Don Meyer.
Did he really? Mm-hmm. Wow, I did not know
that. Played baseball and basketball there.
Did they ever name the journalism school after you?
No.
By the way, it's not the Lance Lyon School.
No. Ed Werder went there, by the way, while I was there. Played him in floor hockey. Yeah. And
awesome.
They were the Red Army. At that time, you know, USA and Russia, that whole thing was back then. But I was going to ask you guys, speaking of WT, Kale, if Texas Tech is going to play Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Why don't they just play West Texas A&M?
Thank you.
Thank you. West Texas A&M is bigger physicily than what Pine Bluff was. Pine Bluff was 5'11", 190 across the board.
And be a little interest there, you know.
Why
what
not,
I mean?
man? It would give a money game to WT.
Exactly.
Yeah, give a money game to
Help
WT.
the 806 out. What do you think of that idea?
Pine Bluff was awful.
That would be outstanding.
Did you hear they took 3 commercial flights to get there? It's a 6-hour bus drive.
Is it really?
Yeah.
They took 3 commercial.
It took 3 connections.
Yeah, why would you waste your money on that? Just get on a bus make your whatever. What they make, 250, 300,000,
whatever it was. Yeah, but if I could
keep that in the WT, get that to WT.
Yeah, let's let them come get their butts kicked.
72 to 67 to 7 or whatever it was.
By the way, did you see Adam Hill from Albany got in that game?
I did see that.
Played well. May I say one thing before we get out of here? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
May I get the floor?
Yeah.
I would just like to say, first off, thank you for having me for a second time. And this production, which you guys here with Maddie and the lighting, this is awesome. I love this, man. I'm jealous of this. But I want to say one thing real quick. We added, at Press Pass Sports, we added Lee Baker. You're a great friend of Lee Baker's.
We had him on the show, yeah.
Yeah, I knew you had him on. It's been a while. But we added Lee Baker here to Press Pass Sports. He's doing highlights for us, and he's interviewing coaches after games. I want to say what a thrill it's been to have Lee Baker, because I didn't think what they did at ABC7 was very, I'll just put it this way. I didn't like what they did at ABC7. So I want to say how great it's been. He's kind of rejuvenated himself. He hasn't been out this much in the month than he has in about 10 years. Yeah. And it's been cool to see. He went on a 2-a-days tour with me, got to see a lot of coaches. He's been in games with me. It's just been fun to have him. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And he does a great job. He's awesome. I love the way he does his
wealth
reporting.
of knowledge.
Wealth of knowledge. Yeah. Maybe some that are unuseful to us, like Japanese baseball. But
he still knows it.
He knows it. He knows
a lot of
it.
soccer, too. A lot of soccer.
Indy racing, all that good stuff.
Oh, he loves all the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We joke around. But I love Lee. He's a mentor. He's kind of a father figure to me in a way. But he's always been there for me, like you have.
Yeah.
And I just love him to death, and it's an honor to have him with us. I just want to say that.
Yeah, no, he's doing a good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, the coach is always excited to see him as well. So when he's going to ask whatever question he's going to ask. So you got anything to add?
I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to change tone here a minute. College football, we're underway.
Yeah.
Arch Manning didn't look good.
Oh.
I was disappointed in Texas. I asked you last week, when's the last time Alabama wasn't in the top?
They dropped to 18.
Yeah.
Was it the David Shula era?
And so, so here's it says college football bottom 10 after week 1. Alabama's not alone. Okay. UMass. I'm just going to give you the headlines. UMass 0-1. Sam Houston, we have a problem, 0-2. State of Kent, 1-0.
That's who Tech
Yeah,
plays
Tech
next.
guys, State of Kent, yeah.
UCLA Booins, 0-1. Round the bowl and down the hole, Roll Tide Roll, 0-1. Missouri State, 0-1.
Ooh.
FA, not IU,
Woo.
0-1.
That was Killy.
Yeah.
0-1. Baller State, 0-1. Charlotte, 0-1ers. And UNC Chapel Bill.
Oh, yeah.
What was his girlfriend doing on the sideline? Talking to him
Talking before the game and things like that. But I tell you what, people aren't giving TCU a lot of love after
They didn't
that
give
one.
him any love. They just talked about them the whole time.
Yeah. But that quarterback looks good at TCU. I think they'll be a factor in the Big
Utah
12.
scares me, too, if you're a Tech fan. Because aren't they on the schedule?
Utah. Their first really big game. You know what I mean?
They I thought.
So,
well, I don't know. If
last
being a
thing,
Tech fan, Oregon
I'm going to
State's
change this again.
Arizona State's legit,
Yeah.
too.
We got to get on this for a minute because we missed last week. One word response. One word. Because I have mine.
For
Micah Parsons.
good for it. Good. I don't know.
I got to go 2 words. Right move
Yeah, there you go. I
Right
can do
move.
that. Right move.
by Jerry.
Right move.
Well, then we're going to all disagree because I'm going to say bonehead.
I agree. It's hard to go in one word. Good move. Right move.
Go ahead and say something real quick, and then we'll close this. I like this.
I don't. It's not the Herschel trade by any means. I'm not comparing it to that. But they got some good. They got. I mean, what were they? I don't know what to do here. You gonna pay him that much money?
You're going to pay him $47 million to.
He's in so deep already.
Yeah.
You got Dak. Is he worth what he's been paid? Hadn't proved it yet.
Right.
CD Lamb, probably.
Yep.
Lamb's delivered.
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah.
And he's got his guy. He's got his number 2 receiver. He's going to be awesome.
Sorry, and Dak's a great guy, but he already put himself so deep in the hole.
Well, who are you going to play
But
there,
if you
though,
put, but
Jimmy?
I'm saying if you're going to, my point being, if you're going to put them on side by side and you have one or the other, I know which one of those two I'm going to pick.
I thought they got enough.
You want Dak out of there and Micah quarterbacking?
He can get a quarter. No, I want Micah Parsons where he was. I'm saying if you had to pick, if you're at a point in time where Dak and Michael their contracts are up at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm picking Parsons.
I probably am, but I will say this, and maybe I'm just going to say it. The Cowboy locker room did not erupt with like, oh my gosh, we lost Micah. It was like,
He's a diva.
have fun in Green Bay.
No bad wishes. Just
Professional ball players respect the ball players who get the money.
Help me out, Jimmy. What did they get for him? 2 first-round picks?
2 first
Okay.
and a run stopper. And a run stopper.
Who's been in the Pro
that's,
Bowl.
That's perfect. I think that goes. But it's not. But again, it's Jimmy. At the end of the day, it's Jerry.
The steps that he's taken to get there.
Yeah,
why didn't
I
you
agree.
do this back?
No, I agree. No, that's the whole.
My point being is, why didn't you do this before the draft and use the draft to your advantage?
Yeah.
That's my point.
My point is the locker room did not erupt.
No.
Maybe they said, hey, Micah, congrats on getting your money. We all respect that, but we're moving on from you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The way you acted, the whole thing was just
So answer me this, and if I'm wrong, tell me. Do you think he could have got the same thing pre-draft for Micah Parsons? I think he could, and still use the draft to their advantage.
Oh, pay him and
Make the decision before the draft.
oh yeah, I'm with you on that. Here's the deal.
They knew then. He's admitted he knew at the draft time that. And Jerry changes his role a little bit every now and then, but he said we knew then that we probably weren't going to come to terms. Then go ahead and get it done. Use the draft to your advantage. Get those draft picks. Get this guy, and let's get some extra draft picks out.
Maybe the writing was on the wall. Like one of the first conversations was Micah missed 6 games.
Yeah,
came out of Jerry's mouth. Remember that first conversation in camp?
Mm-hmm.
That he kind of threw that at us.
Right at
like,
us. Yeah, right.
Whoa.
Ooh, yeah.
You
the
know what I
bonehead
mean?
part of me is the process, not the move. It's when it was done.
Yeah, I agree with
It
that.
should have been done pre-draft.
That's what should have been done during the
No
whole
one
training
deserves $48 million to play defensive line, though. I'm just sorry. I mean, I can get 3 guys for about $18 million each that would love that money and play, and we can cover up for Micah.
Sure.
Okay, that's just my thought.
I agree. No, I agree 100%.
I mean, I like
with
him personally. We saw him at River Road. He was an amazing young man. He didn't just sit in a golf cart and say, wave at the kids and don't ask me for autographs. He's out there playing with them, like playing backyard ball with them. So I admire him for that. But
for the record, I was a coach's kid. I was never a professional football player. I was never a good football player. I was never a major high school football player. I was none of that. And so what I know about football, you can fit on the end of a thimble. But
Agreed,
I love the game, and I love watching it. And
we just want to see the Cowboys win again.
I saw a good one yesterday. They haven't won a Super Bowl on a flat screen TV.
Oh my gosh,
that's a good one.
Have you watched the Netflix series? American?
Not yet, but I want to. I've
watched 4 of the episodes.
I don't know if I'm going to get so mad. I'm going to get so mad watching.
Media guy. I've heard it's been well done.
It's well done. It's well done. But let's get real. And Troy Aikman himself said this. Who's in it and does a great job, by the way. It was edited by Jerry Jones. He had final say.
I wish I hadn't known that.
This is not the pure look.
Told you Vince McMahon all over again, dude.
But I will say this. I heard an interview with Aikman, and he said, he said, look, I lived it. So nothing. Somebody asked him, what'd you learn in this? He goes, nothing. I lived it, okay? Yeah. I knew all this. And there's more probably to it. But he said it's a good, he said it's good. I enjoy it. It is not the end-all look at what happened to the Cowboys in the 90s.
Did Aikman happen to mention his love for Switzer during the show yet?
Yeah.
Why, does he hate him?
Oh, he wasn't a fan, that's for sure, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
especially when he was with the Cowboys, because it wasn't the same Switzer that was at OU. Yeah. When he let him go.
Oh, yeah. As the Cowboys, he hated him. Yeah,
that's what I meant.
He had to run the team.
Yeah.
He had to run the team as a player, yeah. Anyway, we could talk about that
Kale,
all day.
Thanks for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
Kale,
you. Hey,
good
luck with everything.
Thanks.
Groundbreaking.
We're excited.
What Kid Zink's going on, man. It's awesome.
That's exciting times.
Rock Rose, baby.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. So, hey, thanks for joining us today. Kale, great stuff as always. Jimmy, appreciate the insight, man. Give it up on Micah. Let him go.
No,
he didn't want to be there.
It's the process, not him leaving. I think I think they could have got more.
He's going to be okay. He's making $47 or $48 million.
The Cowboys could have got more if they'd have done this before the draft. That's my point.
I like your point. So, hey, we'll be, like I like to say, this is the Fieldhouse Podcast, and it was a production of the Kids Inc. Sports Network, and we will see you when we see you.